Unveiled, and I am Valencia Benavides in for Cynthia Borsellino. And we have some special guests with us here today. We've had Kim Daniel on previously. Hi, Kim.
Hi.
Thanks for being back with us. And we also have some very special guests that we don't get to hear from too much, but you guys heard the first installment last week when they were talking about their Changed conference. We have Dr. Carol and Tamira. So, ladies, thanks for coming back.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. So, today we're going to talk. Last time we were talking about the upcoming conference and just a little bit about what Carol, your ministries are all about and the amazing change that Changed is doing. And so today we just wanted to do a little deeper dive and find out about what fruit this ministry is really producing. So, Tamara, you have been through a lot. I know you have a great story, and we just want to hear more about that. So if you
Yeah,
wouldn't
for
mind
sure.
sharing, we'd love to hear.
I'd love to. I will try to do the quickest version possible. So I was born in DC. I grew up in church. And then in teenage years, kind of strayed away from the church, got involved in partying with friends, drinking, smoking, doing drugs, things like that. I met a guy at a mall, and he asked me to go smoke with him. It sounds a little naive now, but in the culture that I grew up in, it was like asking somebody for a cup of coffee. And so we met up, had lunch, went back to his house to smoke. And about 3 puffs in, I lost consciousness.
Oh, wow.
And I woke up several times on and off. And I kind of knew what happened, but was trying to get out. Everybody at that point had disappeared. That was there when I had started smoking. So I crawled out the back door, called my mom, and she helped me get home. A couple months later, I didn't have the ability to be able to confirm this, but there was a man that was arrested for drugging teenage girls and sexually abusing them and posting it on the internet.
Wow.
I'm not sure if that's what happened, but it was literally in the same exact neighborhood, same exact street that I was on. So, yeah. And so that just sent me down a path of battling homosexuality, suicidal thoughts, depression, a lot of identity issues. And fast forward 2019, I moved to Texas for a new start and stumbled into a church, and God wrecked my life in the most beautiful way. I at the altar just went to him and I was like, Lord, when I leave here, I want to leave changed. I don't want to go out the same way that I came in. And I asked that he would heal me from those things. And a lot of things he healed immediately. And there were some things that took some work and some digging, and I'm still in that healing journey. So
yeah,
that's
we
the
all are,
story.
right?
Yeah.
We're all there.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't
Yeah.
even believe. I mean, and the fact that you're here today
Yeah.
and your
That's
life is
wonderful.
transformed. I mean, that's just God, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, can you tell us a little bit more about just that response, like as you have unpacked what happened with you and how you went into a life of just homosexuality and just you said also there was just like a lot of drugs and stuff. You know, what do you feel like? I mean, were you conscious at those points in time, like of the choices you were making and like how, I mean,
Yeah, I was conscious of the choices I was making, but I think most of them was made because I pushed it under the rug. It was something that we didn't talk about. There was no charges pressed. I had never went to therapy until I got in my 30s.
wow.
And so I was walking around with these wounds, and with wounds, we try to find a way to fill them. And, for some people, like I said, it could be alcohol or porn or whatever. For me, I put homosexuality on like a blanket.
Right.
It felt comfortable. I no longer trust men. So
Right.
being with women was easy. And
Felt safer.
Yeah. And it felt safe. And I started dressing like a boy and wearing boy clothes. And trying to appear more masculine because it protected my femininity. And
Right.
so there's layers to that, but that's the short
Yeah.
answer.
So you said the Lord healed you almost instantly of some things. What
Mm.
type of things were immediate?
Yeah. So same sex attraction, that was immediate.
Okay.
Alcohol, I poured out my alcohol, never went back.
Wow.
Cigarettes, cut them up, which I had tried to quit so many times, and was not successful. So when I went back, I cut them out. And it's weird because now I've been saved 6 years, and every once in a blue moon, I'll get this like, I should smoke a cigarette. And I'm like, no, I don't even do that anymore.
Mhm.
But I think, I don't know, maybe it's my brain like, why'd you stop? I don't know. But
Old patterns.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there were things that were immediate.
And then what were some of the things that the Lord has taken you through to
Yeah.
be changed?
So one of the biggest things is identity. Homosexuality is one of the, I would say sexual perversion in general, but especially homosexuality is one of the things that when we're walking in that lifestyle, it becomes our identity.
Mhm.
You don't hear too many people say, I'm a liar, you have to accept me.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to realize that my identity wasn't in the sin that I had attached myself to, but my identity was in Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And I think walking that out is still a journey because you think about all the things that people say to you that you're in agreement with,
Mm-hmm.
or that you say to yourself, like, nobody wants me, I'm lonely, I don't have any friends. And then you realize, like, this is not what God says about me.
Right.
He said that you're adopted. He said that you're chosen. He said that you're loved. And so if God says these things, why can't I agree with them?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so walking that out has been like the biggest part of my journey.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I would love to know, Tamara, as you left that kind of a lifestyle and were walking with Jesus, what has it looked like for you to address what you do need inside? Because some people, when they hear, okay, God healed me from homosexuality, well, then I'm just going to be lonely. I'm going to be alone.
Yeah.
But you still need that connection.
Oh, yeah.
What has it looked like for you to address those parts of your heart in finding the, I'm going to say, intimacy that all of us need, regardless of relationship status?
Yeah, for sure. So I think definitely finding community. I was blessed to be a part of a community where I was able to build relationships, and relationships that I could be real, I could be honest, I could be transparent. Being able to go to the movies is one thing, but being able to talk to someone and say, hey, I'm struggling with my celibacy today, can you pray for me, is another. So that was a big deal. And then the second thing is therapy. Being able to talk with someone and say, like, I'm having these feelings and I don't know why. How do I work through that? As it pertains to my relationships, has been the other biggest thing. But I think just having a rawness in your relationship with God. God is not looking for us to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking for us to trust him, and we will progress in our relationship as our relationship with him grows. And so I think just being honest about where we're at. I just want to throw out there, I don't believe that God is calling everybody to not be gay. I think that you could be same-sex attracted and have a relationship with the Lord, and that the Lord will walk you through that. But he is asking for us to be holy. And so that means living our life according to his word. And so, yeah.
Okay.
I love it, Tamara.
Yeah, me too. I'm processing a lot. I'm thinking through it all. So my thought too is, for you, when God asked that of you, did that feel, well, you said it was immediate, which blows my mind. All the things that you mentioned that were immediate for you are like, I would imagine those would be the things that someone would struggle through for far longer than just at the altar. I mean, that's remarkable. That's very Jesus of him. I mean, it is very Jesus of him. But I'm like, wow, that amazes me that he probably was just preparing your heart in such a way, a willingness, like surely he was stitching something together over time. Do you feel like there was a place that he was preparing you
Yeah,
to let go?
I think that I had gotten at such a dark place that I was ready to surrender.
Okay.
And I think that it could be difficult. I was single and I had moved to a new city, so I didn't really know anybody. But if I was still at home, I might have been in a relationship, or I might have had,
Right.
friends still walking that way. And I do still have friends that walk that way.
Yeah.
And so I think the separation made it a little bit easier for my transition. Because I kind of had that solitude with the Lord.
Right. A little space. Yeah, it would be harder because then also, like, if you had been in a relationship, you would be also feeling like you're
Yeah.
choosing to do something that might
Yeah.
for sure be hurtful
Absolutely.
to someone,
Absolutely.
to the other
Yeah.
person in that relationship,
Yeah.
right? So as far as just like from an identity perspective, did you feel like, it's interesting to me that you didn't feel like God was asking you to not be you,
Mhm.
right? Because a lot I have family members that I'm
Mhm.
super close to, right? And they're
Mhm.
struggling in this.
Yeah.
And they definitely feel like it's them, right?
Mhm.
And so it's when someone is coming against that, it feels
Mhm.
like they're coming against them,
Yeah.
right? And so I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah. So I think that because I grew up in the church, the Bible says that the seeds that are planted, like, God doesn't forget about our children. And I grew up with this, even walking in that lifestyle, there was just a part of me that felt like I was dishonoring God. And so when it came to the point of surrender, I remember there were times that I was in the club and I'll hear Christian music and I'm like, oh, I gotta go. Cause I just didn't want, like, I grew up very, like, you're either hot or cold. So
Right.
when I got to the point where I was just ready to surrender, I knew what the Bible said about what I was doing. And so for those that I identify in that way, that they feel like they were born that way, I can understand where it would have been a little bit more difficult for them, for sure.
Okay. Wow. Wow. I'm blown away. I'm blown away by your story. I'm blown away by what God has done. Thank you, Dr. Carol, for creating space that this kind of transformation can happen.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm one piece. I am certainly
Yeah.
not the only,
Yeah.
Tamara has had some beautiful people in her life, but I just rejoice to see that God will take anybody wherever they are
Yeah.
if they show up and allow him to do his work.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so true.
He's so good.
Thank you so much for being here today. I loved hearing your story. I can't wait to hear about what you do in the world with that story.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah. Everybody, this has been Beloved Unveiled. And if you need to get in touch with us, you can reach us at belovedunveiled@protonmail.com. Thanks.